Welcome to Comic Movie 10, where you get insight into everything comic book movies and television related in 10 minutes or less. I'm Joe Kane.
And I'm Dan Kane. No relation.
relation.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe and share and keep up with us at hecklerkane.com.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Legends of Tomorrow's Season 3 finale.
Yep. The title of the episode was called The Good, the Bad, and the Cuddly.
Yeah, which was an interesting choice, but it does come out in the end to see why that is.
We'll get to why that is.
Yeah.
The episode starts off with Rip Hunter sacrificing himself for the team.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls the time drive from the ship and goes out, and it basically is going to explode, and there was a lot of tension there, and it was a very moving moment for a character that we've had since the very first episode.
Right.
And he explodes.
Yeah, and it's to trap the demon Mallus.
Yeah,
with him
only
so they can
delay
escape.
him. Only delay
him so that they can escape, essentially, and where they escape to is salvation.
Yeah,
which we remember Jonah Hex.
Yeah, it's the old Western town.
The old West, and they end up encountering a lot of different people that they fought in the past.
Yeah,
the Romans, the Vikings, the pirates.
Yeah, they come out in all the big groupings that they had previously fought throughout the season.
Yeah, and Ray ends up escaping, well, not escaping, but helping Damien Darhk escape.
Yes,
to save his daughter from becoming the body that holds this demon.
Yeah. So Damien Darhk gives himself over to Mallus so that Nora can live.
Yeah, which is like a touching thing. I mean, we've grown to hate Damien Darhk.
Yes.
On Arrow.
Yeah.
And on this show a lot. He's really somebody that I've enjoyed hating. But you see a different side of him when it comes to his daughter, and when he sees what he's done.
Yeah, he's had some redeeming qualities in the past few episodes with the arc about Nora and being able to, ultimately, give himself over to save her.
Yeah, to give himself up. And, it's funny, they had, Sara had a speech when they're fighting all these people. Mm-hmm. That,
when they're setting up for this battle.
A big emotional speech, and then she ends it with, "Now where's the back door?" or something to that effect, like to add a little bit of comedy to
it was a point where they started to go at this really deep and emotional beginning to this episode. Right. And then they said, well, no, we're going to take it back to being DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which is comedic elements and slapsticky. Yeah. Which is a big part of the series. You have to kind of take Legends with a grain of salt. Yeah. You have to go, okay, well, this is it has some serious moments, but then it's always going to pan out as something that's silly, in essence.
And you have to take the good with the bad and with the cuddly.
You definitely went there.
And getting with that, they have to use all the totems to try to defeat Mallus.
Yeah. Which they've been collecting throughout the season. I mean, this whole. Let's get into a little bit pulling back to go. How did this season get to where we are now and where this ended? Mm-hmm. And basically, we've been following Amaya and her collection of the totems that are all intertwined, and we find out that the totems are the reason that this Mallus was captured to begin with and trapped in time. Right. And he's a time demon, so as time starts to fall apart, he now is being able to break free. So we start in Zambezi at the beginning of this episode with her and where we left off in the previous episode with the totems not working. So they have to figure out how to get them to work. Right.
And they do attempt it at one time.
Yes.
To no avail.
And they created this little creature.
This little thing, I don't know what it was. But, they gave it another shot. And this leads to the cuddly. Basically.
Well,
you know what's funny is as they're doing it.
Yes.
They're creating this. And Nate goes, "I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. You told me think of something pure." Yeah. And then they all thought of it. And I fully expected the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man to come out. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an homage to the Ghostbusters.
I have to tell you that I was picturing the Ray speech from from Ghostbusters, and
Yeah.
going, oh my God, this is just right out of the book from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and I fully expected Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I think I would have preferred the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man than what happened next.
Yeah. Well, the next thing that happened is Bebo.
Bebo came out.
They made a Voltron-esque Bebo where they all became part of the Bebo at the end.
Part of Bebo, and in true Legends fashion, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. But you get each of the characters as he starts to fight Mallus, and it seems to be, you have this demon that's this all-powerful demon that has been running throughout and haunting them, and they basically just duke it out. Mm-hmm. There was nothing really, to me, there was nothing substantial there. Why this giant creature that they created out of these talismans would be anything that would go against this guy.
Yeah, I mean, but you expect a little bit more, I guess. This is supposed to be like a big bad, not just a big bad, but a very big bad.
Yeah.
A demon. You think of...
Well, just to clarify, I mean, he's a character that was not in the comics. He was invented just for this.
Right.
So, I mean, there was no expectations as to what he would be... what his powers would.
Well,
really
there was
be.
expectations throughout the show.
Yes.
The warnings from Rip Hunter along the way. What they noticed this actually was.
Yeah.
Along the way, and that it was built up into this huge thing that would be almost impossible to defeat. And you get the idea that these totems come together and they can do it. And I just didn't get the idea that the totems coming together would create Bebo, and that there would be
That's
this
true.
fight between Bebo and this demon.
Yeah.
And it would be so utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Instead of a serious moment, it was just insane.
Well, I mean, there was a whole reference to like Bruce Lee with the come here little signal that he did with his hand, and when they actually defeat him, it goes into a cloud of dust, and that cloud is a blue cloud in the shape of a heart.
Yeah,
it's silly, but that's kind of where Legends is. That's where it lives. It lives in between, like, a serious situation and a complete slapstick situation.
Yeah, that's true. And so they defeat Mallus.
Yes.
And a couple things happen at the end.
Okay. And this is all setting us up now for season 4,
right?
Which is looking pretty promising. It might be something very interesting and a new way to go.
Right.
Season 3 followed Amaya and the Stones.
Right. And she eventually, at the end of this, she goes back to Zambezi.
Yeah. Well, this is all part of season 4, like who's going to be there, who's not.
Right.
They have an overturning cast that's constantly changing, so it's kind of neat to see where it's going. And Amaya leaving and going back to Zambezi was the number one thing, that the first thing that was shown there.
It was shown, and it she went back because she felt it was right, and you kind of always felt that that's where she was headed.
Yeah.
I like that that's where she went.
Yes.
And she didn't want to have her memory erased. She wanted to remember all these people. She wanted to remember Nate and the relationship that she had there.
Well, it also means that, like, if you follow her timeline, she'll be going through the entire time when they come back to when it becomes 1992, when all of this takes place. She will be able to save her village again because of her knowledge of what has happened.
Absolutely. Another thing that happened was Ray gave Nora Dark the Time Stone.
Yeah, she was going back to the Time Bureau, and now she is going to be basically locked up in the Time Bureau.
Right.
And he slips her the Time Stone. Now, we don't know where that's going to lead, but that does give the inkling that she's going to be a character that'll be a reoccurring character and be coming back for different reasons.
Yes, and can she use it to break out? Can she use it to bring her father back?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. We didn't even talk about that. Now, Damien Darhk is dead, hypothetically.
Right.
Again.
In a world where you can go back in time and change anything you want to.
Correct. So, Mallus basically, as Mallus was taken out, Damien Darhk was his host. So that was it. Mm-hmm. So that's another major change that's going to happen.
Right.
And with all these things happening, it's changing over the cast. It's changing the focus of what's going on to a new season for next season.
Right.
It's all setting that up.
All setting it up. And a character that I really like has now joined the team fully, which is Constantine. Yeah. Okay.
The Constantine show was. This is such a departure from what Constantine was.
Yeah.
Constantine was dark. It was gritty. It was sarcastic. There were so many things where you were like nail biting when you were watching that. And then he comes over and he somehow he does fit into the universe.
He does fit in, and he's serious.
Yeah.
But he's amongst
idiots in essence.
he's amongst ridiculousness, and and he basically explains. You thought you could release this demon and no other demons would come about? We have a problem.
And he throws down a dragon's head at the end.
Yeah, which leads us into where we are going come season 4.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking forward to following a storyline where it's I guess it's going towards the more spiritual end of it, where Constantine is going to be a regular character. We do know that Constantine has signed on to become a regular character for next season 4.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to that.
I am too.
We love bringing you these episodes, and we need your help to keep them coming.
Please don't forget to share and subscribe, and keep up with us at hecklerkane.com.
Beep.
Yes.